Hi guys, it's me, Tsalagi. I just wanted to, uh, I'm sure you're already aware of this fire because it was reported yesterday. I think it started yesterday. So let's see, I think it's over by Calistoga. And I'm not quite sure what it's called. Let's go ahead and roll this.
All right, we are following some breaking news right now. In the North Bay, a wildfire has broken out and it is causing evacuations right now. This is in Napa County. It's near Calistoga, not threatening the city of Calistoga right now, but some outlying communities. This is burning just northeast of the city of Calistoga. People all over the North Bay can see the smoke from this fire that is moving very quickly right now. In that area, it started near the area of Pickett Road, and that is where it is quickly gone off with some of the dry conditions that we've seen in the North Bay, and it is now threatening homes. I want to talk specifically about those evacuation orders. These are not warnings, these are orders right now. People north of Silverado Trail, south of Pickett Road, east of Rosedale Road, and west of Pickett Road. We're taking a live look right now from our chopper over the scene. Just immense amounts of smoke right now coming from this fire in Napa County, just outside of Calistoga, burning northeast of Calistoga, also northeast of Santa Rosa, if you are familiar with that area. And there is the map, including the evacuation orders. There's also evacuation warnings on the outside of that fire right now. So if you are living near Calistoga, near the zone northeast of the city, be aware. But CAL FIRE is putting all of its tools to work right now to try to get this thing under control before it would have a chance to threaten the city of Calistoga. They've got air tankers right now and helicopters. They're dropping fire retardant and they are dropping water on this fire that broke out at about 3:30 and took off very quickly. The latest acreage we've heard from CAL FIRE is that it's burning about 15 acres right now, but it's likely spread further than that. And no, we know that their intention right now is just on trying to get this thing out. Look at that as we zoomed out from our chopper. That plume of smoke is just massive right now, and you can see that this is burning in some very hilly terrain, so firefighters certainly have their work cut out for them, and it looks like that aerial attack that is well underway is going to be their best bet at getting this fire out. But again, evacuation orders and warnings are in place right now in the area around Silverado Trail and Pickett Road. A lot of the future here is going to depend on the weather, and that is why we want to bring in Darren Peck right now to talk about what firefighters are dealing with. The winds could be worse from what I see.
Sorry guys.
Not have any fire weather watches or red flag warnings today. And that's a good part of this story. It's hot. The landscape is going to be dry, and firefighters are going to have the challenge of pretty intense heat and very low humidity. Those two, on their own, are already a challenge when it comes to fighting wildland fire. But if you want to pull out any kind of a positive on here, this is not the kind of scenario where you get very strong gusty winds. They will in the vicinity of the fire. That's almost certain, because when you get hot updrafts from flames and when you've got topography, those two things alone will start to create some pretty intense wind. But at least we don't have large-scale wind. This is a time-lapse of the fire, and this is from the California Wildfire Network with a partnership between PG&E and UC San Diego. There are cameras on virtually every acre of the state now, so when these things happen, we can get an eyeball on them almost immediately. Here's a time-lapse of it, and what we're looking for here is how the plume is behaving, and that's a pretty hot fire that's able to throw a large direct plume of smoke vertically, almost past this little inversion. You see the clouds are doing there, the sun clouds of smoke, but you kind of see this has hit an inversion layer and flattened out on it and is now spreading generally off towards the west from there. But there's a little...
You heard him, right? California has virtually every acre in camera, in full view. That's kind of crazy to think about. But that's kind of why I'm able to do the Watch Duty app and these videos. But yeah, so that's kind of interesting. We are the surveillance state, I guess. I guess that's what that means. But let's finish what he was saying about the weather.
Plume that shoots up above it that actually shows you that this fire is putting up enough heat. That's a very fast updraft coming off of that fire. So that says something about the temperature. It's a very hot fire, obviously, but it's also got some intensity in terms of the flame. By the way, that's it. So here's another way to kind of gauge where it is. So get ourselves oriented. This is the satellite imagery over the bay. The landscape looks green because we're looking at it in a slightly different channel. It's reading temperature rather than visible light. So the landscape shows up in an odd color. But when you do it this way, you're able to visualize where the heat signature is from the flame. So this at least puts this into context on a map. Where is this fire exactly? We've been telling you it's near Calistoga on that northwest corner of Napa County. So here's the valley. Calistoga would probably sit right in about here. This is the hills to the west, uphill from there. Of course, you can see it in the side box that we've got on our monitor now of what the topography looks like there. Anybody who's been on the northern edge of Napa Valley, you know what the topography is like there. Pretty steep. And certainly hot. This is one of the locations in the entire Bay Area that can experience some of the hottest temperatures. And oddly enough, the elevation won't necessarily help all that much. Days like these, it can oftentimes be hotter on ridge tops. As you go a little bit higher in elevation, you enter something called a thermal belt, and the temperatures can go up, and the humidities have been low there. That's the other thing. These hills, through Napa, and really across the entire Bay, over the last several weeks and really over the last 2 months have been living in a very different climate than the rest of us have at lower elevations. We've been getting the marine layer, we've been getting increased humidity. Above 1,000 feet, and that does appear to be where this fire is, above 1,000 feet, they've never really gotten much of that. It's stayed fairly dry all summer. So the fuels have gotten drier there than what you might be thinking of in your neighborhood or for what you've encountered. It's just been drier and hotter at elevation across the bay. Not critically dry. I mean, that's another piece of positive information here. The landscape's certainly dry, but it's not necessarily at critical fire levels for this time of year. That's why we didn't have any fire weather watches or red flag warnings going into this heat wave. The landscape, thankfully, hasn't really cured and dried as intensely as it very easily could have over the course of any other summer than the one we've been living through. We've really had a blessing this year, not only from the weather.
Let me just add to that. Our springtime this year, 2025, we hardly got any flowers. It was really kind of a sad spring. So without those flowers, the state pretty much goes dry. Like there's not a lot of fuel because we didn't hardly get any real flowers this year. But that's why it's hard for me to believe that there's so much burning. But maybe that's just in my area because we definitely did not get the amount of wildflowers, the desert wildflowers that we normally get, and we didn't get the rain that we were used to getting. So I don't know how many days it's been, but it's been more than days, weeks, it's been months since we've gotten any rain. And I believe the last rain that we got was probably around, I would say before April, because I remember, like, normally you would think April is the month that you get your rains. Not really for us. We either get them before April, a little bit during April, but definitely we usually get rain in August because of the monsoons, because I'm Southern California, so not the Bay Area, that's different, but where I'm at, we kind of depend on the monsoon season to get a big portion of our rain, and that just hasn't happened. So maybe it will happen. I'll tell you, last August we had consistent, at least 2 to 3 weeks of consistent 120 a day temperatures. where I'm at. So it's just real crazy out there. Let's go ahead and see if we can see any of the cameras on this fire. And it's a pretty big fire. I think it says 33,000 acres plus. So let me see if I can catch a glimpse of it through camera. Yeah, that looks like it. That's a fire. It's definitely a fire. And this is called the Pickett fire. Let's go ahead and view it. 6 hours. And there's billowing smoke. Yeah, that's pretty big. We keep having, it's almost like, are there any acres left to burn? I mean, obviously there are, but let's not go there. So let's see if there's another angle. Possibly. Yeah, definitely. Let's go 6 hours out. Oh, pretty big. 33,000 acres. And they've got evacuation orders. And some pretty yellow smoke. I wonder what that is. What's burning to create that yellow smoke? That's a pretty hot fire. Wow. And that's right now, guys. So that flare up, this is right now. Why do the flames look significantly higher than the mountain? That's just very crazy. I mean, I guess there's wind. I guess that's why it's flared up so high. You can kind of see that the wind is sort of going in a, I don't know, maybe like away from the fire, it looks like. So here's another angle. It's not quite catching it, but you can see the smoke. And he said this is right around Napa Valley, where, you know, a lot of wine vineyards are. And so you can't really see the fire in this camera. Maybe this one. And they are offline. Okie dokie. I guess that they don't want us to see that angle. This one I don't know. Oh, I guess you can. Okay. You can view it. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's, I mean, it just got so big so fast. And whatever's burning, creating the yellow smoke, is kind of scary. Ooh, look at that red sunset. Well, those are flames. And there it goes, flaring up hugely. That's huge. I don't know why it's so dramatically huge. Explosion right there. but you can see there's a couple of bodies of water in the area, so that's a good sign. It appears that this whole surrounding this whole lake had burned at one time. What year? 2021, I guess. Yeah, I mean, oh, that's a big, wow. You can just see it just explodes right there. Like it was kind of smoldering and taking its sweet time, and then it just explodes. And that's weird to me. It's like usually you see that when there's actually something flammable to burn. Wow. Wow. So, I don't know. There's not much more for us to see. Well, I guess, did we just look at this one? I'm just tired. I'm getting old, but look at that explosion. We didn't see this one because this is kind of far away, but that's crazy how the flames are like really high. Like it is creating its own weather in a sense. And then you can see at nighttime it explodes again, which is just, I'm very baffled. I don't understand what would cause it to explode like that. But this is very close to the Bay Area, and I don't know, some of these, okay, some of them aren't working, but you can definitely see, you can see it from this angle. And not sure what else is gonna be visible. This must be an airport. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna be able to see much from that one. Did we see this one, maybe? I did make a video earlier, but it didn't record my voice or the video that I was trying to make comments on, and so I just deleted it. I don't know if this one's gonna work. If it doesn't, you'll probably never see this. But I did attempt to fix it before I started recording. Did you see that yellow smoke? Let's go back. Go back further. Watch. You see that? I don't know if it's the lighting or if it's just some yellow smoke. Alright. Well, I mean, there it is. Definitely a big fire. And I'm not sure exactly, I don't think it's threatening anything as of yet, but it looks to be a lot of sort of farmland, very sparsely populated, except for in this section over here. Looks to be maybe a gated community sort of development right here, and some little random ponds, and then this looks like another little housing community. So that's a little smaller, but then it just gets into more dense population. So it is a threat, especially if it's going at a fast rate like a lot of these fires are tending to do. Now this yellow zone is just warning. They don't necessarily have to leave, but they're not going to be bugging these people. Well, basically they will if it goes into the red, and all the red, they would have had to let them know already. So I think this fire started yesterday. It's hard to see what is all in this area, but let's go ahead and see. I think it started in the afternoon around 3:11 p.m. yesterday. So it's only 7% containment, almost 4,000 acres as it stands going into the evening tonight, Friday evening. I really hope that it dies down. I hope that the humidity goes up a little. We are supposed to get some sort of precipitation on Wednesday, so hopefully that is true for this area as well. They usually get more rain than we do in Southern California, but as the newscast man was saying, it's been pretty dry. So, and I can totally see that that's the case. Just California gets dry. It could be weather, messing around with the weather. These people that are doing that, could be that. But it's also sort of a normal situation for us that we do absolutely dry out by this time each year. So without further ado, I would like to just say goodnight and stay safe out there, and hopefully you're in a safe place already. What is this little? This is just bad. Look at that bad air. It's from this fire. Sorry, I got distracted like a squirrel. But that's pretty bad air right there. Antelope fire. Well, that's not the one that's making the air bad. It's this flat fire right here. Huh. That's over in Oregon. And they've got horrible air. That's worse than the city. So anyways, and right here too, 436. Well, that's kind of normal. It's over by Bakersfield. That's very sadly normal. And then the Crow Fire, this one's been going on and I don't really know. It's 37% containment, which is good and looks to be on its way out. Looked like it was pretty big though for a minute. 400 acres. But anyways, I will let you guys go because this video has become long enough, and I hope you have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.